Madam Chair and Commissioners. As you guys know, many of us have lived in the county for almost a quarter, um, almost 25 plus years. And in that time, we've seen growth happen all around the interstate area and on the peripheral of the city, with little to no growth happening in the downtown. I think we're the only one in the downtown area of Henry County cities that hold this distinction. Um, and as I mentioned before, it's important for us to not fall into Einstein theory of insanity, where we do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, but to do something different and expect a different outcome. And that is that something different. Um, and hoping that this will, with our developer on board, spare something different, and be akin to what you see as I presented to our council members back in August at our retreat, showed them pictures of a few of our brother and sister cities in the northern metro area, where directly across from their city halls were multi-story mixed-use buildings. That was Sugar Hill, Duluth, Swanee, Smyrna, Woodstock, Alpharetta. Those cities that have gone through a process of being able to allow for mixed-use development in their downtown and spurred new life in their downtown area. And that is the ultimate goal, to provide that live, work, play area in the downtown area in Stockbridge, to see her flourish and grow and to have everybody prosper. I will tell you that, I came in on the tail end of the Camp Creek Marketplace tide along Camp Creek Parkway in East Point when I was city manager there. And most folks don't know that that tide actually was the highest performing tide in the state of Georgia, outperforming Atlantic Station. Right? It paid off its 30-year bonds about a year or two ago. We were able to refinance and pay those bonds off, and those monies now respectively go to the county and the school board that participated back then and back in 2000. So, the same hope is here. As we know, our residents are being underserved. You just can see it at the Sprouts and all the new businesses that comes up. You see how folks are gravitating to those because we've been going elsewhere to have those same things, and now we are getting those things here. So we hope that you guys support the tide, and we will be presenting this to our school board in the very near future. I've reached out to the school superintendent. I've talked to the school board, the former superintendent, as well as the current superintendent, who's very familiar with tides coming out of South Florida, to get their agreement as well. So we'll be reaching out to them next month and in March to get their buy-in on the tide as well. So thank you so much for your patience through this process. As you know, we've been going through this for about 2 years, and sometimes it takes that long. And so I appreciate all that the staff, Sherry and her staff, have done. The chair and the commissioners are asking questions and us getting those answers to you guys over this period of time. And so we welcome any feedback you may have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. I guess now what I'll do is just go and see if the commissioners have any questions. I'll start with we'll go backwards. I'll start with Commissioner Lewis.
Hey, good afternoon, Mate. Thank you very much for the presentation. As I know, I've mentioned to Mayor Ford and to the City Manager Fred as well. Just been waiting for you all to come back. So I won't speak for everybody else on the board, but I'm in full support of what you all are trying to do in the city of Stockbridge. But what happens that's good in Stockbridge is actually beneficial for all of Henry County. So definitely support what you all are trying to do. I think it's a very viable plan for you all and for us. And that's all I have. I don't have any further questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Commissioner Price.
Okay, I have a couple of questions, one of which has already been answered. I was just concerned about what impact this would have on our special service districts. And I see that the fire and water will not be included, and so I'm cool on that. But as I was reading the document, I was reading about eminent domain. And my question is, how many properties that's in this tax allocation district that could potentially be affected by eminent domain? Or have you already spoken to the property owners within this development? And are they kind of cool with it and looking forward to the development? Because I'm just concerned, that there may be properties that people may lose if whatever they have currently is not a part of the big plan or the big picture.
Thank you, Commissioner Price. None, zero. The city has no intent on using eminent domain for this TAD. I think, as it was alluded, the majority of the properties in this TAD that you see the future development on are city-owned properties. The city has no wish, no desire, and I said it again, the city will not and has no wish or desire to use eminent domain as part of the tax allocation district.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Commissioner England? Commissioner England?
No questions.
Okay, all right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Commissioner Robinson?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I do like how you did say with the eminent domain. Is that something that we can actually put in writing for you on the city manager on that aspect? Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
Yeah,
So we want to make sure that that is in writing. And also, I do like how it stated that if you all wanted to go outside of the particular area, you had to come back to the county to receive approval. Because I know when I served on the city, I do know the downtown area, all of this was what was to be, impacted by the TAD, which is a good thing. It will help all of Henry County because even just like with Stockbridge, they have the amphitheater and it has been a success and it brings a lot of people to Henry County. And when we're talking about tourism, people look for that. So I'm very excited about this and knowing now that the county still has the opportunity to be able to have buy-in is the key. So that way we continue to be the lead, basically, partner with this, but also the lead because you would have to circle back to the county. So I do like this as well. So thank you for that. And that's all the questions I have, Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
If I may just add quickly on the issue of eminent domain. The only reason it's in there is a definition of what eminent domain means. And the bottom of that paragraph defining eminent domain says, the city may undertake and carry out community redevelopment, but shall not include the acquisition of property acquired by eminent domain to private enterprise for private uses. So basically, the only reason the word's in there is in the document to say that the city isn't going to use it. Just to clarify.
Thank you.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
appreciate that. That's great clarification. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. And I will also, as it relates this, I think Gary showed the plan. This TAD is specifically what we're asking for is for that town center area, which is the area directly across from City Hall, properties that are city-owned properties on the amphitheater property itself and the downtown area where we own properties already.
So I have
Okay.
another question then. So as it is being developed and it is expanding, is it a potential then for some of those areas as it is expanding in the development to be subject to eminent domain?
No, sir. Once again, the city will not utilize eminent domain to take private property for this project in
Okay.
no way, shape, or form.
Okay.
You know, that I know that because some people will say it, and that's why I'm reiterating it the way I am, is because, you know, the majority of the properties that you see and the plan that you see in front of you, those loud yellow colors, the majority of those properties are owned by the city of Stockbridge. And in this plan, there are only 3 properties that the city doesn't own, and those landowners are in conversations with the development partner that we have on board for them to purchase those properties from those landowners. But the city will not use eminent domain for this purposes. And this tide for the town center is specifically for what you see in that area there. If you're familiar with what happened around the Camp Creek and Atlantic Station tide, development happened on its own generically based on what happened in those areas. They weren't spurred by the tide by the tide, but by the fact that the tide incentivized new development, that those other developments took off in the adjacent area, and which became beneficial because those monies went to the cities and the counties and the school board. And so that's our view of it. But no, we're not utilizing eminent domain to take any private property.
And we
I was just
definitely will.
concerned because I know when City Hall was built, some issues, arose with that. So I just wanted to make sure, that those owners were protected.
Very aware of that situation when that happened. Back
Lessons learned.
in 06, 09, yes. And, that changed the state law, that as well as the Kelo versus Connecticut that went before the Supreme Court the same year, where the Supreme Court said that local government could use eminent domain for economic development purposes. Well, that very same year, the Georgia Assembly put in place a restriction that says that local governments could not use eminent domain for the purposes of economic development. So that restrict that from local governments. Now, it didn't include Georgia Power or didn't include the state or housing authorities, but it did include cities and counties. So there's a barrier state law in place.
Commissioner
Thank you,
Price,
sir.
Commissioner Price, I'm sorry. We will honor what the vice chair wanted us to do, is put it in writing. So we'll do that for you as well. All right.
It's in there. It's already
Okay.
in there, man. That's the portion that Gary
All right.
showed. That language is
Okay.
already.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, I would like to give Commissioner Wilson an opportunity.
Okay.
Everybody else has had an opportunity. Let's give Commissioner Wilson an opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Chair. Sherry, I'd like for you to weigh in and tell me your thoughts on how this TAD has been presented and how it's going to affect the county's tax digest. And just give me your thoughts, please.
So thank you, Commissioner. This is certainly something in this format that the county manager's office, in consultation with our finance department, can support. I do believe early on we were concerned about those special service districts being included. The city did hear our concerns, and that has been removed. So all of the public safety pieces of the special service district will not be impacted by it. I think what was a seller for the county is right now what we're receiving in tax revenue versus what we could receive if we allow the city to really go through the redevelopment of this site, and it's a benefit for all of us. And so this is certainly something that my office, the CFO, and our team can certainly support.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I think Vice Chair Robinson had her hand up for a comment or question.
Yes, I just have one last comment. As you know, being familiar with the project, like I said, being with the city from 2016 to 2019, this has been a long process. This is nothing that just came up. And during that process, for those constituents that are watching, there were meetings, town hall meetings, several meetings, community meetings, bringing in the community to have buy-in. Their concerns and questions were answered to make those corrections, just as the Stockbridge has done for the county. because that's why it has been a long process, but the county needed things to be done. So thank you, County Manager, for making your comment. So that way it ties in that this is something that's not been going on for just 1 year or 2 years. It's been several years. And also it had community buy-in. So just wanted to say that by having my experience with this project.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, so I do have a question with regards to the special service districts. Sherry, I saw fire up there. What other special service districts other than fire with PD, or I didn't see?
So, Madam Chair, the only districts that will be included in the TAD will be our general fund and county recreation.
Okay, because Stockbridge has their own police department, it doesn't impact us in the special service districts for our PD.
Right.
It would just be fire
Correct.
and the water authority, correct?
That is correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, that was it. That's all I just wanted to make clarification on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Well, then I guess what we need to do is, County Manager, we call for, Stephanie, we need a motion to approve the IGA. Is that what we are here for tonight?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes. Okay, all right then. So, I have I guess a motion to approve.
I motion to approve the TAD in a government agreement with the city of Stockbridge.
So I got a motion from Vice Chair Robinson,
Second.
a second from Commissioner Lewis. If there's no further discussion, all in favor? Okay, motion carries unanimously.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Kevin and the staff, for all the work you guys have put in to get us to this point. Much appreciation. Thanks.
Same here. Thanks.
All right. So now do we move into executive session? Do we have
Madam
anything else?
You had one other item, the appointment for the county attorney. Did you want to do that after executive session?
Yeah. We'll do, well, yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that after executive session.
Okay, very good.
All right. So we are dismissed.
Yes, so all of
Okay.
the staff and all of the presenters are dismissed.
So do I need to get a motion to go into executive session first?
Yes.
So can I
Yes,
get a
ma'am.
motion to go into executive session? Got a motion, got a second from the vice chair, second from Commissioner Anglin. All in favor?